Hey everyone, welcome to today's episode of the Senstennial. On today's episode, we're excited to talk about the greatest news of this week in Sens universe, and it's that the Sens have signed defenseman Artem Zub to a 4-year contract extension. And I think,
Oh, baby.
yeah, we're very excited about this. Now, I think it started last night where Darren Dreger came out and said that talks between the Sens and Zub's camp had intensified, and everyone's like, okay, we've heard this kind of stuff before. Is it actually going to happen? And then today, I believe it was Chris Johnson that came out first and said,
Yeah.
talks are nearing a resolution here, and that the Sens and Zub were coming to an agreement soon. And then Friedman said he heard that Zub was closing in on a 4-year, $4.6 million deal, and everyone's like, okay, they're giving numbers now. This thing is a done deal.
Yeah.
And sure enough, that's what happened. The Ottawa Senators announced that Artem Zub had signed 4 years, average of 4.6 million a year. It looks like he's getting $4 million next season in the first year of that new deal, and then for the following 3 seasons, he'll be getting 4.8 million, no signing bonuses, and a 10-team no trade clause. So, Matt, what do you think about this signing of Artem Zub?
I'm really excited about it. I read the podcast or the blog that Elliot Friedman put out, and his subsequent podcast that initially the Senators really wanted to get DeBrincat done before Zub, but there's a bit more clock tickingness on Artem Zub where he's going to be a UFA and you really want to get that deal done. And you just have to look at the on ice product of the Senators when Artem Zub is not playing. The impact that he has is shown immensely by how little, people say his name, how much he scores, all this sort of stuff. He's a very low key, but extremely important player. He's currently making $2.5 million. And what's really funny is the Athletic has their awesome playing cards. I think they're great. They're awesome. And he is now making, as of next year, what his playing card has his value as at $4.6 million. You have to wonder, you have to wonder, just is Pierre Dorian going on the Athletic? He's like, yeah, I've made some good deals and I've made some poor deals. 4.6, that sounds like a deal to me. Genuinely, I thought they were gonna probably land at about five, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. 4.6 is a steal for a top four defenseman who plays generally in a top two role with
Yeah.
Thomas Chabot.
And
I
no, I was
Go
gonna
ahead.
agree. I was gonna say that I thought he would get 5 5 5. Actually, that
Yeah.
was the deal I had in my mind. For them to get, and again, I gave Graham Nichols a shout out in the last video about Seth Jones, but in his article that he wrote about the Artem Zub signing, he was saying how with Artem Zub, oh god, my brain's coming
Oh
to a
no.
stop here. Um, where is it going with this? Oh, Ottawa is securing the peak of his career, really. I know he came to the NHL
Yeah.
late, but he said, after the age of, 27 to 31 is where the player is still either at their prime or they've plateaued. And then after 31, 32, that's when they really start to decline. So, yeah, I really agreed with that part of his article. And yeah, I think the Sens secure the best UFA years of Artem Zub, and after that, they could decide whether they want to renegotiate, or depends where Artem Zub's at in his career. So, I really like that. And did you watch the breakaway video that the Sens
Oh
posted on
my
Twitter?
God. Like,
Pierre
is
Dorion,
Pierre Dorion one of
holy,
us?
yeah, dude, Pierre
He's a
Dorion.
fan of Zub just as much as we
I think
are.
he's, and I think it was like Everyday Sens or Locked On Sens. They were saying how that Pierre Doron was like the number one fan of Zub, and I'm like, yeah. After that video, I don't think there's any disputing who's Zub's number one fan.
I sent it in the group chat. I was like, ooh, new Pierre Dorion meme dropped.
Yeah, yeah. And beyond that, I mean, even in the press release, Dorion's statement was that Zub has worked hard to establish himself as an excellent NHL player and a strong defender. helps make us a better team, a defensive team when he's on the ice. And they're really happy about the signing. And yeah, that's fair. And I mean, as you know, I like my hockey viz charts and heat maps.
Absolutely.
And
Shout
I
outs to
post,
Micah.
yeah, Micah at Hockey Viz. He does a great job at what he does. And yeah, I posted this on Twitter earlier, but Artem Zub, his heat chart is really good when it comes to his defensive impact and his impact on the penalty kill. When it comes to generating 5-on-5 offense, not as good, but hey, that's totally fine. That's not what he's there for. That's why he plays with a guy like Shabbat. You know, he covers the defensive end. He lets Shabbat do his thing in the offensive zone, and that's all you need him to do. And I think, you know, when you look at Ottawa's lineup, they have right-handed defenders who really aren't defenders if you want to have them play to their position. So to have a defender who can actually do what their title has in it is really nice. And Zub gives the Sens that stability back there.
Absolutely. And somebody pointed out after this Zub signing, for the future, we have about $15.6 million in free cap space next season. And obviously, you could assume that at least 8.5 of that is going to be dedicated to a new DeBrincat extension. Then you have to get Shane Pinto done. And I think they need to start considering a long-term deal for Eric Brandstrom. If it's a 4 year or a 5 year at, $2.5 million, securing the long term for your defensive defense going forward is the most important thing. Now they just need to go find another right shot defenseman that fills in the top four role. And then we're cooking with gas. I think the Sens will start looking more and more as a defensively strong team with a nasty offense.
Yep. And I don't necessarily agree with like too much term on Brandstrom, but I do think he's been a lot better this year. And be happy to see him sign, like, to me, a 2-3 year deal as a depth defenseman. Just kind of, have him in there with your core, kind of see how he progresses. And I think you just need a really stable partner for him. And I know he really likes playing with Nick Holden. And if you can find a younger Nick Holden
Yeah.
who's, a little better both ends of the ice. I mean, I guess that would be a dream defenseman for anyone, but it'd be nice to see the Sens find that kind of partner for Brandstrom. But today's news is about Artem Zub. Really happy he's back in town for another 4 years. And it's just nice to see a deal like this get done mid-season. You don't have to worry about it. It's not like when Ottawa had some other pending UFAs in years past and they left it to last minute and then ended up
Yeah.
trading them out of town. It's like, no, they don't. We don't even have to think about it at the deadline. It's like, that the Sens are keeping him. And that's just really nice to have when your franchise has traded away a lot of pending UFAs in years past. So Artem Zub staying in Ottawa, you love to see it.
Love it.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for watching. If you like our content, please subscribe. Really appreciate that. We're doing a Twitter giveaway right now, and you can get 2 tickets to the Sens and Capitals tomorrow night. So please check our Twitter page for the contest details on that. I'm sure many people would be excited to go, and I'd love to give those tickets to someone who hasn't had an opportunity to go to a game yet this season, or maybe they just like to go to a game with a friend or family member before the holidays. So
Yeah.
check out that, and you can check us out on besides Twitter, we're on Instagram, Facebook, and Reddit. We're also in the Sens Discord if you're on there, so please check us out. And thanks so much for watching today.
Thanks, everybody.
Go Sens, go.
Go Sens, go.